Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm starting a new series. This is my intro to makeup series. I figure with the quarantine in place, a lot of people are stuck at home and they're trying to find new hobbies to do, and I think this is a great time for anyone to get into makeup. I think it can be very overwhelming when you go and you look at all the products and you don't know where to start. So I thought I'd start today by showing you how to do a neutral eye look. It's actually what I have on my eyes right here. And I'm going to talk you through all the products that you need to get started doing eyeshadow looks. Okay, so to get started with makeup, you're going to need some sort of application tool. Now you can just use your fingers to apply makeup, and that is perfectly okay. Personally, I prefer to use brushes. So I have a set of brushes that I like to use, and this isn't all of them. Back there in that corner, like a whole cupful of brushes that I rotate between. So there are a lot of different kinds of brushes and they're all used for different things. To get started, I would actually recommend the e.l.f. Smoky Eye Set. And this is a set of 5 brushes and it retails for $12. It has all the different kinds of brushes in it that I personally use all the time on my eyes. And so I think it's a great way to get started. So it's going to come with the Eyeshadow C brush. So I actually have that one from e.l.f. right here. And it's called a C brush because of that C shape right there. And this brush is great for when you are packing eyeshadow onto your lid. So something like a metallic or shimmery eyeshadow. It really does a good job of that. And I use this brush practically every time I do my makeup. It's gonna come with a fluffy blending brush. This is not the e.l.f. one. This is a different one. I don't have the one from e.l.f. None of the other brushes I show are going to be from e.l.f. So it's used for placing eyeshadow all over the eye. I use it a lot for transition colors, anything that's going on my brow bone. If you're looking for a wide surface area and you also want to blend it out, this is good for that. This is probably also, along with the C brush, one of the most used brushes that I use. The other thing you'll get is a tapered blending brush. And so it's very similar to the other blending brush, but it's got a more asymmetrical shape. You can see it's skinnier at one end and a little thicker on the other. So this is great for putting eyeshadow into the outer V and into the crease when you want a little more detail than the big blending brush is going to give you. You're also going to get a detail brush, which is like this, and it's basically a smaller version of the C brush. And this is great for when you're doing looks that require more detail. When you're trying to place something like just on the inner corner or just on the brow bone or in smaller areas. If you're trying to put anything on the lower or the upper lash line, or if you're trying to smudge out eyeshadow there, this is great for that. And then you're also going to get an angle detail brush, and I really like this for doing my brows. It's also great for a lot of the same things that the smaller detail brush is good for. Okay, so now that you have the brushes, you're going to start looking for eyeshadows. And what kind of eyeshadows you get really depends on what you want to do. If you're looking for a more natural, everyday look, you should look for palettes with more neutral colors like browns and grays and things in that color tone. If you're looking for more colorful colors, then you should look for that. It really depends on what your goal is. Today I'm going to start with natural eyeshadows because I think that's very easy for people to get started with, and it's very universal. A lot of people want to do it. So for that, you have the option. You can get eyeshadows as singles. So you can just get a single pan of eyeshadows, and it looks like this, and you can pop it into a magnetic palette, something like this. And that will give you a collection of singles. You could also go and get a pre-made palette. So that would be something like, here's one here. This is the one we're using for today's eye look, but it's already got all of the shadows inside of it. Usually it's cheaper per ounce and per eyeshadow to buy it as a palette than it is to buy individual eyeshadows, and that's just because of economies of scale. I think as a beginner, if you don't have any eyeshadows, it's probably a good idea to do that. There are lots of great neutral eyeshadow palettes at every price point. The one I'm using today is from Viseart, so it is a little pricier. This is the Theory 1 in Cashmere. This is $45 for 0.42 ounces, and you get 6 eyeshadows with it. So it is pricey. So, I mean, these are great quality eyeshadows, but if you're just starting to get into makeup and you don't know if you're going to stick with it yet and you don't want to spend a lot of money, I would not recommend this. Don't start with something crazy expensive. There are lots of other good, really good eyeshadows at lower price points. So I am basing all of these palette recommendations that I'm giving you off of reviews off Temptalia. Temptalia is a review blog where she reviews makeup. She has this huge, extensive list of all the products she's reviewed. It's phenomenal. And I find her to be very honest and have very detailed reviews. And I highly recommend you do your own research before you purchase any palette. But this will just give you a good starting base to decide what you might want to get. So one of the more inexpensive neutral palettes that I would recommend, it would be the Going Coconuts palette, and that is from ColourPop. It is $12 and it has 9 shadows. It also has a combination of shimmer and matte eyeshadows and doesn't have any pressed glitter in it. So everything in that palette is safe for use in the eye area. And it has shadows ranging from, their white all the way to darker browns. If you're looking for something a little higher end, there are a lot of palettes from Sephora that have also been highly rated. If you're looking for something with a little more color, the Modern Renaissance palette is very warm toned. It has very orange, red, pink, very romantic shades, if you will. So that one is very highly rated. A lot of people really like that. It is more expensive though. So Modern Renaissance is going to run you $42, so it is a lot more expensive. ABH also has a Soft Glam palette that is more neutral toned than the Modern Renaissance if you want more natural browns eyeshadows. Urban Decay has a palette that I hear is really good. It's called Born to Run, and that palette is $49, but it has a really good mix of both neutrals and colors. So even though it's a little more expensive than the ABH palettes, you do get more eyeshadows. You can also so what I've done is from Makeup Geek, I have made a custom 9-pan palette, and that has several neutrals in it, along with some more colorful eyeshadows that I chose. And I also have a complete review of Makeup Geek eyeshadows that I will link above so you can check that out. And if you don't know what colors are gonna look good on you, when stores start opening again, you can go into Sephora or you can go into Ulta, and they have open products that you can just swatch on your hand to check out the colors and to check out the formula and see if you like it. And I highly recommend doing that. Anything you want to buy, if you can, go see it in person first, because sometimes photos don't always, it's hard to tell colors sometimes from photos. It's always better. I highly recommend seeing something in person first. Okay, so I think those are all the basics that you need to get started. Basically a set of brushes and some eyeshadow. Now there are some peripheral items as well that I would recommend, but these are not necessary. So one of them would be an eyeshadow primer. I like this one by Wet n Wild. It's very inexpensive. This was $5.50, I believe. And the point of primer is to make your eyeshadow last longer. For me, I have a kind of oily eyelid, so it keeps it from creasing, and it also helps the colors show up a little more pigmented. Another thing you can get is an eyelash curler. These are really inexpensive too. You can get one from e.l.f. for like $3, and this just curls your eyelashes so they appear a little larger. Another thing I would recommend to go with eyelash curler is some mascara. I like this one. It is the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Mascara, and this is $6, and you can get it at any drugstore. It just does a really good job, I think, of making my lashes appear fuller and longer without any clumpiness, and it doesn't transfer to my under eye, which I really like. The other thing I would recommend getting would be an eyeliner. So there are eyeliners that come in all different kinds. There are the pencil eyeliners, and these ones you just sharpen until they run out, and you just apply to your eye like so. These I think are really good for beginners. I think liquid eyeliners tend to have a bit more of a learning curve to them. You can also get a liquid eyeliner. And these come with different tips. Some of them are felt tips, some of them are brush tips. I have one from Physicians Formula that has a brush tip on it. And these are great for if you're doing winged looks, or if you're just trying to get a very precise line, because I feel like the eyeliner pencils tend to be a bit smudgier, thicker, not as defined. And the point of eyeliner is either to make like a wing, which is just like a cool effect, or with the pencil, what I'm mostly doing with it is I'm just putting it onto my upper lash line and then a little bit onto my upper waterline as well. And that's just gonna make my eyelashes appear a little bit thicker and fuller. So today I'm gonna show you how to do a very simple gradient natural look. To start with, if you have an eye primer, take a small amount, maybe like a pea-sized dot, and apply it all over the area that you're going to be adding eyeshadow. So that's your entire lid, up into the crease on the brow bone, and just rub it in until it absorbs, and then wait just a little bit for it to dry, or you can set it with the setting powder. Next, take your fluffy round brush and pick up your light brown shade that is a couple shades darker than your skin tone. It's always best to start with a light hand. You can always pick up more eyeshadow later. We're going to be applying this brown shade all over the transition and crease area and kind of into the outer V as well. The outer V shape helps to open up our eye and make it look larger. And just use big sweeping motions with this. We don't need to place it very precisely. And then you can also use circular motions to kind of help blend it out a little. Remember to pick up more eyeshadow from the palette as needed. Now take your asymmetrical tapered blending brush and go into the darkest brown. This should be several shades darker than the brown you previously applied. Now you're going to apply this deeper into the crease than you did with the previous shade. You're going to also apply it into the outer V. And then you're going to want to blend this darker brown into the lighter brown a little so the edges aren't so harsh. Now we're picking up that same big fluffy blending brush that we used for the lighter brown, and we're just going over the eye a second time to help blend everything together. Now take your eyeshadow C brush and you're going to go into a metallic shade that is a little bit darker than your natural skin tone. This should be darker than your highlight, but lighter than either of the brown shades. And we're going to apply that all over the lid. Make sure you are not applying it into the inner corner as we will be putting a highlight there. And then I'm just taking a little bit more of the dark brown eyeshadow on the tapered blending brush, and we're just deepening the crease and blending the matte shades into the metallic shade that we just applied. Now we're using our detailed brush and we are picking up our highlight shade. We're going to apply this into the inner corner, blending it into our previous metallic shade, and then we are also going to use it to highlight our brow bone. Next, I'm taking a waterproof black eyeliner pencil and I am tightlining my eye. So I'm placing this on the upper lash line and the upper waterline. And the way I kind of do this is I start by putting it on the upper lash line and then I'll open my eye and look away and kind of try to apply it to my upper waterline. Don't feel the need to apply this to your waterline if you don't want to. Do whatever feels comfortable for you. Next up, I'm using an eyelash curler to curl my eyelashes. And I'm doing this by pressing it up against the lid and then squeezing it, holding it a little bit, moving it further down the lashes and repeating that several times until I get the desired level of curl. Next, we're gonna set that curl and add some more volume and length to our lashes with a mascara. I'm applying this both to my upper and lower lashes. I like to hold it against my lashes and then blink. And that's how I like to apply it. Other people have different techniques. Just find something that works well for you. Okay, everyone, that completes the look. I hope you had a good time and that you learned something, and I will see you in the next one. All right, so that completes the eye look. I hope that that was fun and informative, and I hope you'll join me in my next video where I'm going to show you how to do the base that I have on right now. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe for more in this series. I post a new video every week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.